Hello everyone, my name is Liz and I am one of the librarians here at SJCC, and I'm going to do a really quick demo for you today regarding how to find sources both online and through the library's paid subscription platforms. So I want to also let you know, please, you can stop by the library. It's very hard for me to cover everything, especially in such a short segment, but the librarians love to help students. And there's always a librarian at the research desk, at the reference desk during open hours. And so if you have any additional questions or you would like some help searching your specific topic, please drop in, chat with us. We're on the phone, we're answering this shared email, or you can reach out to me directly. So the first thing I want to say about the free and open internet is that there are good quality sources out there. The problem isn't that the internet is only full of garbage. The problem is all of these people also have something to say about climate change. So in addition to NASA being a source online, we do also here have a politician, a comedian, a philosophy professor, and a radio talk show host. And so when you're online, you need to be using those really extensive critical thinking skills to ask yourself who is speaking, what are they saying, and why, and make sure that you can answer those questions before you use it in your research paper or for writing an essay. And this is what librarians like to call the CRAP test. That's our clever way of trying to help you to remember these questions that you need to ask as you go along in our evaluating sources. You want to make sure the source is current for your topic, especially in the sciences. They need to be extremely current, relevant, meaning that, when you search the term, it's related to your topic. So, for example, in the humanities, maybe if you were writing a paper about how politicians use climate change to get elected, you might be able to quote a politician. But for the purposes of talking about climate change, what causes it, the impacts, and so on, you're really going to want scientific information. You're going to want the A for authority. And authority and accuracy often go together. So if you have a strong authoritative source, often that information can be counted on for its accuracy as well. And often the purpose is also then to inform you as opposed to getting you to vote for something or someone or make you laugh, right? So you want to try to find a source that is motivated to educate you, to inform you. Okay, so the problem with the internet isn't that it's all full of garbage. The problem is just there's so much information out there now. Some of it, the worst of it, is openly deceptive, and it's getting harder and harder sometimes to tell the difference between sort of deceptive misinformation and quality information. So, and then there's all this stuff in the middle that isn't relevant at all to your research, entertainment, shopping, sales, and people might try to sell you supplements. You're trying to research dietary restrictions, right? So you have to be very careful. Gen AI, I'd say, is sort of on the cusp sometimes between relevant and informative. So I teach a whole workshop on that. Come to the library and talk to us about generative AI if you're interested. But also, thankfully, the library is on the internet, right? So there are these scholarly articles and scholarly sources on the internet. And the issue is just how to get to them, right? How to get to them, how to reach them quickly. And so thankfully, the library is here to support you. We have a number of paid subscription platforms that contain quality information for your use. They are all paid for by the college with your registration and can be found on the library homepage. And I'm going to transition to a live demo now. And what I'm going to show you is a search box that the library has created where it goes out and it crawls all these paid subscription platforms, and it also crawls the free and open internet. But from the open internet, it only returns peer-reviewed, full-text articles from academic journals. So what that means, what is peer review? Peer review is just like if you had a peer assignment, right, where you would pass your essay to a peer, another student, and they would review it. Well, peer review for professionals is the same. Other scientists in the field sit down and read the article and decide if it's a good idea to publish it or not. And so with peer review, sources tend to have the best authority, and that's what you want. So the filter on the internet side of this search box I'm about to show you, pardon me, is very strong. So there's probably even more, sources online out there. But in the interest of saving you time and energy, we have filtered out a lot of the garbage. So all the garbage is gone. We've even filtered out some of the good stuff. So, there may still be quality information out there, but to make your life easier, we strongly recommend that instead of going just to Google or ChatGPT, which hallucinates and may give you made up things, and instead of going to Google Scholar, because Google Scholar may ask you to pay for something. You go down this rabbit hole and eventually it asks you to pay $24.99 for an article. The library does not want you to do that. Please talk to a librarian before you pay anything for an article, because the college is paying for quality top information for your use already. So here we are at the library's homepage. You can get there from the campus homepage. In the top right corner shortcut, right next to sign in for Canvas, is the library shortcut. And you will land here. Our announcements do change, and right below that is this custom HTML search box that I have added to our homepage in order to make your life easier so that we get results both from the internet and from our paid platforms. So let me show you what a sample search for fast fashion looks like in this special tool. It's called OneSearch, and you can think of it kind of like the library's search engine. Okay, so here is the results page. This is what it'll look like. I also want to point out in this top menu here, there are other choices here, and you can see that, if you click the catalog, that would include our print book collection, right? If you did text reserves, right, those would be down here. The only place you're going to get information from the internet is in this selection, articles. This is where the plugin for the free and open internet is. Now, you are only going to get articles from the internet. So they're going to be full text, all of them, right? And they're going to be also included alongside our paid platform results. So when you're at home, if you're in a result that's from one of our paid platforms, you do have to log in. That's your student email address, stu.sjcc.edu, and same password and username that you use to get into Canvas. Okay, it's all with your SSO. So if you see a pop-up that says sign in, that's normal, and you will want to sign in to get into that resource. So here's my results for fast fashion within this OneSearch interface. You can see I have 3,277 results. That's still too many to look at one by one. I mean, it's not the million that you're going to get when you're online, but it's still too many. So what can you do? You can start using the filters on the side here in order to narrow down your results. The first thing I'd recommend you do is make sure your information is current. Remember, the C is in the crop test is currency, right? So let's do 2020, and then you're going to hit, hit refine. And I also like to remember the filter. That will pin the filter to the top so that even if I add terms or change my search terms up here, this filter is going to stay and I don't have to click it every time for this session. I'm also going to check a box for peer-reviewed journals. Okay, so most likely that is going to be required for your assignment. Most instructors do require peer review. All right, so let's see here. Down here, you'll see there's a button, Apply Filters. And then I'm going to remember that filter as well and see it turns yellow, and now it's locked and pinned to the top. Okay, now I'm down to 850 results, which is a little bit better. But let's say I know, for example, that your assignment is going to be to look for solutions. So you can also add terms to get your results narrower and narrower. What I'll say, you can keep adding terms, but be careful because you add too many terms, you're going to get 0 results, right? So here, I'm going to add the word solution, and now you can see I'm down to 101 results. So this is pretty good. You can keep playing with these. You could change your resource type to articles, for example, because you don't want magazines, right? You want journal articles. These are magazines from our paid subscription platforms, right? So you can keep playing with this, but since we're limited in time here, I'm just going to show you the first result. So here are practical solutions for a circular business model in the fashion industry. And If you want to access the full text of the article, you click down here where it says View Online Full Text Availability. This is the page about the page. So it will give you a description you can read quickly to decide if it's the right article for you, if it's relevant for your topic. That's what I recommend you do. And if you're interested in learning more about the authors, there are hyperlinks to the authors and so on. Okay, and then up here, the nice thing about the library platform is that even though this is a free and open website, you can come here. And if you decide that this is the right solution for you, this is the right paper for you, you can get your citation here, right? So there's a designated, pre-generated citation for you. Make sure you're on the APA 7th edition. It does default to that. It's an A to Z for the different styles. So when you're in sciences, you're lucky, it defaults to your style. So you can copy that to your clipboard. You can get a permalink to this page. You can also email this page to yourself. So let's say I decided that this was a great article for me. I can send it to myself here. And it should give me, there we go. Okay, so the email is sent. All right, so, but very important, when you click here, this takes you off the library homepage. Now you're reading the article itself. So again, here's that abstract. And if you want to read the full text, it's right here. Okay, so, and then you can decide if this is for you. So the other thing I would say before we go really briefly is if you get stuck and you do end up with 0 results, the library does have many, many more resources, and I would encourage you to come talk to a librarian. You can also go to the library homepage and go to number 4, Digital Articles and Databases. This is our paid subscription platform list. You can see we now have 120 options for you, which you can browse. And I recommend you use this subject menu, go to Science and Technology, hit search, and you'll get 17 databases. So you can repeat that search I did, fast fashion, solutions, and take a look in some of these. I would strongly recommend Environmental Studies in Context, Academic Search Complete, and more. So if you have additional questions, please come by the library and see us. We would be very happy to help you with your research project and answer any questions that you have. Bye-bye.